Welcome to the Gamescape, everybody. My name's Jarek, and today we're back in Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. This is episode 71 of our playthrough. And in our previous episode, we did a little bit of work. We got some work done on the campaign trail, and got our, let's say, our expeditionary army out, heading back towards some of the easier to defeat armies that are kind of more on the eastern side of the map, so that we can start getting some finance points coming in and some income coming in for both materials and finance and so on. They're traveling. It's going to take them a few days to get to where they need to be to make that attack. We also talked to CR and let him know about Morveg. We also talked to Irbeth, let her know about the missing scouts down by Winter Sun. So we closed up a couple of those quests, and we ended up leveling up. So we spent a little bit of time leveling up just this party. And so now we have talked to the Hand of the Inheritor, and he has brought us to Pelura Falls, where we came in, and we're basically immediately being told that we're the only ones that can solve all kinds of different little problems that are going on here. And so we are investigating, and we had a couple, actually. We found one guy who was kind of illegally visiting the sanctuary and passing notes, and we found this other guy who thinks that the captain of the guard is crooked and is out visiting his wife or some other woman. And so we're going to be doing some stuff to take a look around. So we just finished talking to Teriel here, and we're going to loot the quarters here because that's what we do. And then we're going to move on. All right, here's the first people we talked to. It was Vestari, and now we're going to be talking to Christry. Christry greets you anxiously, as if expecting the worst. Are you the commander from Dresden? Although I don't know why I asked. It's not like you could be anyone else. Listen, Christry, I don't think the commander wishes us harm. If you want to ease your conscience, tell him everything. All right. What's your confession? Yes, I want to confess to Eliandra that our entire community, that Vestari and I love each other. We've loved each other for so long, we're practically an old married couple. Eliandra is against romantic unions because she thinks tempestuous passions will cause division in our community, but she doesn't understand the nature of love. You can discipline the flesh, but you can't restrain the soul. Not that Eliandra would believe us, but Vestari and I really did try to resist our feelings. We made a vow to stay away from one another, to never again break the rules. Christy sighs. But the bond between us proves stronger than our resolve. Perhaps it's the will of the stars, and despite everything that's happened, we're simply two halves that are meant to be one whole. If Sarkoris hadn't fallen, we'd have lived happily and freely. We wouldn't have to hide, and we wouldn't have to exchange stupid notes. These aren't stupid. These notes aren't stupid. Do you really want us to be torn apart, forbidden from seeing one another? All right. I think Eliandra is a kind and wise leader. I'll persuade her not to stand in your way of your love. Christy looks at you doubtfully. I've known her longer than you. Of course, Eliandra is kind, but she's also very stubborn. Once she's made a decision, there's no point in trying to change her mind. She and Katera are much alike in that regard, except he always does what's right, and she always does what's in her heart, what her heart tells her. And of course, her heart has told her that love should be forbidden, supposedly for the sake of peace in the community. Ha! These stupid rules haven't helped anyone find peace. Okay. So we've got these two are in love, and everybody else is against it, except for potentially our good friend, the captain of the guard, Kater, who may be stepping out to visit his woman. Hard to say. Lilith and Sada, anything here? No. Okay, let's have a chat with Eliandra, see if we can solve this. How can I help you, my radiant friend? Why'd you ask me to talk about the temple's inhabitants? Are you worried? My request to you was made on impulse. Put it simply, a heavy burden has been placed on our shoulders, and it is easy to grow weary. We do not live in complete isolation, but we have done so for a very long time, an entire lifetime for many races. I'm afraid many will be broken by this ordeal, if they have not been already. It would be easier if I could be dispassionate, like Kater, but I cannot. I worry for those in my care. I feel like a mother who cannot protect her children from pain and grief. When I saw you, I hoped you'd be a breath of fresh air, that your presence would renew and restore our spirits. Let's talk about Vestry and Christry. Vestari and Christry. Eleandra looks up and sighs. Vestry and Christry, my dear rebels, you must think I'm harsh for enforcing such strict rules here in the temple, but such measures are necessary when you live through decades of isolation in such a small community, shut off from the rest of the world. Love, and all of the jealousy, discord, quarrels, and breakups that go along with it could result in genuine disaster. Vestari and Christry are the living embodiment of such disaster. I love them with all my heart, like they are my own children. However, before the temple was hidden 100 years ago, they could have 5 quarrels and 6 reconciliations, all between one moonrise and the next. At other times, they would go a month without talking to one another. That created quite a problem, since stargazers are supposed to share their observations and research. This carried on for years, until after a particularly public fracas, I decided to forbid all romantic relationships in the temple. It was an impulsive decision, I'll admit, but it was not made without reason. I was trying to maintain peace in our community, and I was also concerned for the feelings of others. Many of those you see here, Auden, Teriel, and even Kater himself, parted with their families for the sake of our mission. It's unfair for them to be the only ones so painfully deprived. So that is why love and relationships are now forbidden in the community. And as you can see, the rules are largely the result of Vestari and Christry's own actions. Diplomacy 27. You've lived here for many years. You become a family. Does a family reward love with punishment? Vestari and Christry have loved one another for a long time. It's not just a sudden whim. They deserve your acceptance. Oh, we failed. Got a 4. Needed a 5. That's great. Eleandra shakes her head. I cannot allow this. It would reopen old wounds for Kater, Auden, and others. It could also lead to future chaos, and believe me, the chaos caused by Vestry and Christry when they are together is enough to put some demons to shame. It pains me, but Vestry and Christry must end their relationship. They will be isolated from one another as long as it's necessary. Okay, well, that didn't work, did it? Let's see. All right, we're not done here yet. We gotta go. More people to talk to, more things to see. Okay, the starry sky is miraculously reflected in the surface of the water. The mirrored image is perfect reproduction of the real thing, allowing you to see even the smallest details. Cool. What's this? Get off of that. What is this? What is the cusp? Okay. Oh, okay. Lantern. Newlyweds. Bridge. Okay. Daughter. Different constellations, I suppose. Okay, loot. Ah, Nidlaw. Nidlaw.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
A dark-haired woman is absorbed in sketching an assortment of daggers, blades lying on the ground before her. The thick sketchbooks beside her are also filled with drawings of weapons. Suddenly aware that she's being watched, the woman looks up from her work in an exclamation of surprise. Oh, a visitor in the temple. Your weaponry is so interesting. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Nidalov, the priestess of Plura, mistress of stars and farewells. Okay, what can you tell me about this place? Nothing you couldn't learn from others. This is an ancient temple, one of the most sacred in all of Socorus. After the wound opened, it turned into a secret enclave of resistance. Of course, we don't fight the demons directly, but our knowledge will help us defeat them someday, once and for all. Who better to take up such a burden than us? Of course, we did not expect Lady Pelura to prolong our mortal lives, but I'm glad of her gift. I would gaze at the stars for another 100, even 200 years if it would help us succeed in our mission. So what are you drawing? Obviously, weapons. By a stroke of luck, I came across some blades belonging to ritual daggers. They were just lying in this box in some dusty corner. Just imagine, Sarkorian art stored away in the temple and then forgotten. So this is what I do in my spare time. I gather the items that once made our nation famous and make sketches, and whatever I cannot find, I draw from memory. During the first 20 years of our imprisonment, I sketched our traditional clothing and adornments. I tried to account for all the clans, even those that had perished and disappeared before the opening of the world wound. Luckily, items from across all Sarkoris are stored in the temple. They were once brought as gifts or for funeral rites of chieftains. Then I switched to cookware and then to wood carvings. Then wood carvings took me almost half a century, since that was one of the main art forms practiced in Sarkoris. Now I've moved on to weapons. When I'm finished, it will be the most complete collection of sketches on the subject of Sarkorian art. At the very least, these items will be preserved on paper, if nowhere else. What can you tell me about Eliandra and Kater? Well, they certainly know how to make an impression, don't they? They're as different as night is to day, but that is their strength, and therefore ours as well. Kater is our protector. He is a rock, an anchor against the storm, holding fast against the tide of demon hordes. Eliandra is our guiding star. She has been a leader to others since childhood, and I should know. I followed her here to the temple. Okay, gotta go. Endless rows of books. Each tome is filled with indecipherable numbers. That would be a failed check, probably. Yeah. Okay, just a little library back here. Not too much else going on. Where are we at here? We've pretty much explored everywhere except for this way, I guess. We've got another door over here to look at. Oh, got a little gathering here, don't we? There's Kater. Kater's gaze is clear and direct as he greets you. I'm listening. Oh, that's a good greeting. Tell me about Sarkoris. I'd rather not answer that question. Kater winces, then adds apologetically. I'm sorry, that was rude. It's just not many can boast that their country has been wiped off the face of Galarian. Not conquered, not decimated, but wiped out, along with all of its people, cities, forests, and rivers. And I watched it happen with my own eyes. I don't want to remember what everything was like before. Do you know anything about Arila Vorlesh and the opening of the world wound? May that witch be damned for all eternity, along with her progeny, if she has any. Yes, I know about her, though not much. There was no respect for arcane magic in Sarkoris, and there were reasons for our distrust. Divine spellcasters always have someone above them, someone who can control them. A dishonorable priest or a paladin will lose their power immediately. Even with the priest of an evil god, an enemy, you will always know who they are and what to expect of them. But there is no higher authority for wizards. Nothing limits their might or their experiments with the very essence of the world. Our elders tried to control this chaos as best they could, but they did not wish to be harsh. They didn't execute offenders on the spot. They simply put them in prison. Wizards weren't even forbidden from practicing magic. They simply had to do it under supervision. But with Arilu, everything went wrong. The witch managed to reach out to Discari directly from the fortress where she was being held, and then served up her country on a silver platter to the lords of the abyss. So how do you guys manage to keep your life in the temples a secret? We made everyone believe that Pelura's fall was destroyed along with Sarkoris. We stargazed the destruction of the Empire. It was 100 years ago now, but those of us who had families didn't even get to say goodbye. We couldn't let anyone from the outside world know that we were still alive and hiding in the temple. Since then, only a few of the most experienced rangers are allowed to leave the temple and go on raids. We do it secretly, pretending to be crusaders or cultists, and we go to great lengths to ensure we're not followed. So far, our tactics have been successful. We've survived here 100 years, and I hope things continue that way. Okay, yeah, gotta go. Anybody else in here? Nobody named. What's back here? Beds. Beds. I missed anybody? Yeah, we got to go back and talk to them. We need to find the stone tree. Don't know where the stone tree is. All right, well, those two are here. Sorry, guys. She said no. Christy and Vistari stand together, showing a united front. They're not holding hands, but you can feel an unbreakable bond between them. Aren't you afraid of being seen together? I thought if the truth came out, I'd die of terror, but for some reason, I feel braver than ever. Christy looks at him tenderly. We are meant for one another. Our destiny has been written in the stars, and they are never wrong. Well, I told Alandria about everything, and she's going to keep you isolated from each other. She said no. Sorry. Vistari nods. I'm not surprised. Well, Christy, let's look on the bright side. Maybe soon we'll complete our mission and help the Knight Commander close the world wound. And when that happens, there will be no rules keeping us apart. Until then, we'll just have to wait. Christy clenches her fists as she tries to contain her grief and anger. Alejandra always said we should stick together and that we share a destiny. Well, it just goes to show that her petty speeches are nothing more than empty words. Be careful. Your anger won't do you any good. Good? These rules aren't about what's good for the temple. They're about Alejandro's stupid fears and what's left for us. We just have to bow and accept them. It's also unfair. Yeah, gotta go. We won't be far behind you. I do not know where our path will lead us, but we'll never return to Plura. No, my heart says otherwise. We will come back. We'll never forgive. I will never forgive Alandria. She will see the depths of my anger. Yeah. Probably not great. Did we talk to Regnard? I don't remember. I think we did. So, okay, maybe not. Why do you have so many weapons? I collect ancient Sarkorian artifacts and study their history. We all find ways to escape the monotony of life in this temple. If we didn't, I think we'd lose our minds. Anyway, this is what I do. Thanks to Cabreri's cultists, there's plenty of material for me to study, though it is somewhat lacking in variety. So tell me about the atrocities they've committed. Regnard sighs. You must have seen them. When the demons realized that the inhabitants of Eyes were fleeing down the river, cultists of Cabreri, Lord of Ghouls, disturbed the slumber of the noble chieftains who were sent to their rest in the lake nearby the temple. The chieftains sailed in ornate barges to Pelura's temple, and then were sent on the waterfall. The waterfall is all dried up now, of course, but at the time, it was part of the ritual ceremony. When they went on their final journey, the chieftains were dressed in their best armor, and their most prized weapons were placed at their side. They were also given a ritual dagger with an epitaph on its hilt. According to the legends, the great chieftains were just sleeping, and they would awaken whenever Sarkoris was threatened. Regnard chuckled sadly. The legends were true, in a manner of speaking. They woke up, and thanks to the demons, they destroyed everyone who stood in their way. They still can't rest in peace, although the cultists have long since abandoned these lands. Luckily, the undead kill demons too, so in some strange way, I suppose our ancestors are protecting us. All right. Yeah, he's the one that wants us to find the Rage of Ice. That's right. All right. This is the parcels are wrapped in parchment and tied with string. Perhaps they're meant to be gifts. This is a banquet. Okay. Well, I think we've probably done most of the things we can do in here at this point. Maybe we've missed something. I don't know, but let's talk to Eliandra. Let's get moving. What do you know about a Relu? More than some, but not as much as I would wish. I've been to Threshold, the fortress where our outlawed spellcasters were held, and where Relu conducted her monstrous ritual. I even saw the betrayer in the flesh, though only briefly. Relu was rumored to be a dangerous witch. For many years, she had lived in isolation, carrying out strange experiments in deliberate obscurity, but she was noticed in the end. The best witch hunters tried to capture her, and it is said that many of them perished in the attempt. But when I saw her, she was no longer a dangerous enemy. After many, many days in a dungeon, she was nothing more than a pale shadow. I was told her spirit was already broken when she was brought to Threshold, and she gave the guards no trouble. However, I think it is safe to say now her compliance was simply a ruse, a cunning deception. When the wound opened, it shook the world. My Lady Prolura, in her heavenly wisdom, was one of the first to realize the magnitude of the threat and set her priests a vision, along with an order to run and hide. But many couldn't find it within them to obey this order. How could they leave their beloved homeland, their homes, family, and friends? Many of my brothers and sisters perished, losing a hopeless fight against wave after wave of demons. I was destined for a different fate, and so was my shrine. Lady Pelura hid it from the eyes of the demons. I had a vision telling me that the work that needed to be done to avenge the fall of Socorus and rid the world of the world wound. That was when I learned this difficult task would take a century to complete, and that it would require us to make many sacrifices, but I was willing. So there's celestials here as well? Yes, of course. The priestess nods at the winged creatures standing nearby, and they smile back at her. Angels and azadas from the court of Lady Pelura often visited the temple in its days of glory. When this place was hidden away and we were given our mission, some of them decided to stay and support us. Like us, they have not gone beyond these walls for 100 years. They help us here in the temple, and of course, we are all united in our desire to heal the world wound. Ruchele looks at the azadas with a wistful delight, but turns away, seemingly shy, as soon as they return her gaze. Tell me about your mission. Why'd you decide to remain here? This temple has been blessed by Pelura. Whether it is day or night, the stars are always visible within the heart of the sanctuary. It's why those who study the stars conduct their observations here. Moreover, if we ever hope to understand the world boon, the only place to study it is within its very borders. We've already read this. If I leave Pelura's fall, all the work we've done in past 100 years will be lost. Oh, she talked about this in the last episode, I think. Yep. Tell us about Sarkoris. Eliandra's face lights up in a smile. It was a wonderful land, even if many thought it was savage and wild. It still lives in my memory as if nothing has changed. I can see the barges gliding across the surface of the lake. I can smell the fresh air. I feel the wind on my skin as it moves across the green forests. The Sarkoris was never ruled solely by one person, nor was it governed by a single faith. Clans lived in accordance with their own customs and settled more important issues through lively debate and communal meetings. Matters involving the whole community were decided in but a gathering of the elders, priests, druids, and chieftains. By a gathering. We worshipped Aristil and Pelura, the spirits of our honorable ancestors, the sanctity of nature, and a dozen different deities and magical creations. That was what Socorus was, a land of freedom. However, Eliandra's eyes grow sad. That freedom was not extended to all. As I think you know, only the magic of druids, priests, and other divine spellcasters was considered honorable. Those who used arcane magic were treated with suspicion, which grew into hatred. It grieves me to remember this, for our hatred was returned to us in full when the witch Arilu took vengeance on those who had hurt her. All right, well, I've talked to everybody, so can we do the ritual? Are you sure? After the ritual, you'll have to leave Pelura's Fall. Well, maybe not. Let me go take one more look around, because I feel like I'm missing something with the stone tree. That's not where we're going to find it. I don't know where the stone tree is supposed to be, is all. I think this is all the way out. It's got to be somewhere outside, which we can't really get to. Oh, another door over here we missed. Ah, Vigdis. Another named guy. Another named woman, sorry. Tiny old woman runs her bony fingers along the tops of several magic scrolls. Her lips are moving silently. Who are you? The old woman squints short-sightedly. And who are you? The voice is not familiar, and I can't see your face. No, I don't know you. My name is Vigdis. I was once a junior priestess of Pelura, and now I manage the temple's resources and provisions. I put everything where it belongs and keep it safe. Why aren't you a stargazer? The old woman laughs. My stargazing days are over. I only see what's under my nose. Lady Pelura decided my old eyes should have some rest after all these years. Are you a trader? A trader? No, there's no trade in the temple. Who would trade with us? I make sure everyone is fed and their needs are met. Whenever anyone brings anything to the temple, they give it to me. Have you brought me something? Or perhaps it's the opposite and there's something you wish to take. Everyone is free to take what they need. All right, show me what you got. You can take or leave whatever you wish. Everything here is as much yours as it is ours. All right. Nothing too terribly exciting in here. A few potions. We might grab the Cure Serious. That's about it. Think we can get along without the rest of it. Got anything to give them back? They could probably have something. Let's sort this stuff. We took some potions. We will be kind and give them a protection ring. Just one, though. Maybe they can use that. They're not really worth that much, so I'm not too fussed about losing it. There, we gave, everything's fine. It's locked. That's interesting.
I hope you appreciate
place where everything
this.
is free. Oh, definitely have all that. I don't know what else to do. We've talked to everybody that we can find. All right, let's do this. Finish talking. All right, well then let's go to the temple and may the power of Pelua help us find that which we have lost. Starry skies. Okay. Eliandra massages her temples as she emerges from the trance. It worked, but everything was so strange. I saw a place and the road that leads to it. It's to the south of here, within the boundaries of the world wound, but I didn't see Targona. Something separates us from her. She's not on a different plane, and yet she's not fully on this plane either. However, there's one thing I can say with certainty. The creator of the sword is not dead. Her heart still beats. We found the desolate hovel. Hand of the inheritor says, praise heaven. Thank you, righteous Eliandra, and you, champion. It is possible that I could be reunited with my dear sister and companion. This day is joyful indeed. And bad things are now happening. Kater says, I'm afraid the day is not as joyful as you might think, Angel. My scouts have just returned. There's an unknown detachment moving in this direction. They look like cultists, and they're coming straight toward us, like they know we're here. I'm not sure what's going on, but we have to stop them. Could someone have discovered the secret of Pelura's fall? My heart is filled with worry for the temple and its brave inhabitants. Champion, we must go and help Kater. Alejandro goes pale. Yes, please go with him. You are the Knight Commander of the Crusade, and Kater is our faithful ranger and protector. Surely together you can hold off the cultists, but the Herald of Iomedae and the Lightbringer should remain here. We cannot risk him being seen outside the temple. I'll go gather the soldiers and then follow the commander and Kater. Do you think this is related to our arrival? Could they have followed us here? I can't say for sure, but we should expect the worst. You may have been followed, but that doesn't mean they've discovered our secret. And even if they have, we might be able to stop them before they can send back a report of our location. That's why we must take action quickly. All right, let's do it. Let's go kill some cultists. Okay, Kater's joining our party apparently. I'm guessing we have to go out this way. Seems the undead may solve our problem for us. Suspicious travelers. So we don't really even know yet if they are good guys or bad guys. All right, so let's see where are we at here. Camellia's up, then this fellow right here gets to act. It's Greater Skeletal Champion Berserker. That's a lot. All right, let's do this. Let's go there. And let's have some fire. And let's get on him.
I'll cut you wide open.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of hitting. Hey, Rochelet.
I will resist.
Okay, good. Smilodon's working on the paladin that he can't hurt. Ember. Ember. Let's have a little fire. Okay, Sela, let's have a smite evil. Where'd your smite evil go? He's almost dead. So is the Smilodon.
Did I mess up again?
Ooh, good. There's the Black Dragon's Fang in action. Old Jeff.
Cover me, all right?
Missed. Aura, in there too. Okay, Camilla, you're gonna back up a little bit here. Maybe you're gonna have a little luck on. You know what? Let's not do that this round. Let's do this round. Because she can't chant yet. Let's finish this Smilodon. Okay, Rushley.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, Ember, let's have a... You're critical on her.
Yes.
Go. Sela on him. I think I smote evil on the wrong guy.
Into the fray.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Oh, I need to get Woljeff his new short sword going here. Do a little chant there. Get in there and finish him if you can. Oh, good. Rushley.
Desmond, guide my hand.
Okay, hits there. Ember, this is over. You can just
Surrender or else.
save your spells for the moment. Oh, missed the two. Got lucky there.
Distract them for me.
That's a lot of two missing. Okay. Exhausted by their battle with the undead, the alleged cultists sit in wary silence. Only one of them dares to speak up. He seems to be the de facto leader of the group. Mercy! We ask for mercy! His shoulders droop slightly, although he tries to appear confident. And in that moment, you suddenly realize you've seen him before. He was in the vision you had when you were in the caves near Canabras. This tall half-elf was among those who betrayed Lariel and offered prayers to the monster that killed him. These past years have aged him, and he's no longer young, yet despite his gray hair and his worn features, his manner and bearing have not changed. He looked at the fallen angel in your vision with the same mixture of boldness and uncertainty that you see before you now. Who are you? State your names, Kater says. He does not lower his weapon, and his gaze is stern and unyielding. This is weird, because that's a lawful decision, and it's like that is weirdly... I don't know why that's lawful, necessarily. We'll continue on here. Suspicious Traveler says, please have mercy. We are fugitives. We used to be followers of Descari, but we left that foul path, and we've been trying to hide from our former lord and his servants. We are going to Dresden. We wish to surrender to the new Knight Commander and atone for our sins. Kater gives you a quick glance. He shakes his head almost imperceptibly. Then he turns back to the cultists. If this is indeed your purpose, we will not stop you. We are followers of Pharasma. We roam throughout the Worldwound hunting the undead. We must return to our mission, so we cannot accompany you on your journey. However, you are free to go. Kater, stop. They will not survive on their own. You're sending them to their death. They will never make it to Dresden. When I look into the souls of these people, I see grief, fear, and repentance, not evil. We will take them into the temple. We will heal them and give them shelter. Damn it, priestess, are you out of your mind? You've just revealed our secret to total strangers. Leander speaks softly so that only you and Kater can hear. Valric, forgive me, and you, Kater, as well. You're a great warrior, the best we have, but I cannot take your side in this. And if I went along with you, I would be ashamed to see my own reflection in the holy waters of Pelura. The priestess raises her voice. I am the high priestess of Pelura's fall. Guards, I order you to take these people into the temple. And on the subject of secrets, Commander, you should talk to the prisoner yourself. I believe you too will see the truth of his heart and the absence of evil in his soul. And color me skeptical. What do we got? A couple of loot. Some gold. Some more gold. Oh, what's this? Oh, we got another berserker here. Let's get back into formation.
Save the last one for me.
She's got an arrow of law. Is one of her spells, I think. Yep. Ha! Did 8 points of damage. Well done. Usually can hit him.
Make your peace.
Amelia, let's have a little luck on Valric in case they go after him. Or a sit tight. Ember, let's have a firebolt, maybe. Oof, goodness. That's a lot. Her spells are getting really powerful.
Time to share your treasures.
I will resist.
Wow, missed 2 2s.
Tactical
Okay, well, that wasn't my best idea, probably.
The heartbeat quickens.
Probably should have just let Valric handle that, I guess. Ravenous Greater Shadow.
Prepare yourself.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
This looks like a good time for a fireball. And maybe even a good time to up the damage on it a little bit here. Say we pitch a fireball over into here. Wasn't the best. Or let's back up here. Who shall I finish the shadow off?
Desna, guide my hand.
Ooh, kind of strength drain. Camellia, let's have... What? Let's throw some undead over here. And a chant. Mostly they're not there to do anything but absorb hits. Yeah, like that. Valric.
The light take you.
One down. Okay, Ember, let's have a... Nope, not that. Let's have one of these. That's not bad. Or a stay back. You can't hurt them anyway.
Make your peace.
Okay, Camellia. What else can you do to help out from back there? You can do Fortune on her. And then a chant. Let's do one of these then. Missed, apparently.
Into the fray.
Oh, I could have done a... It's okay. That's okay. One down. Or stay back.
I will resist.
Two down. Okay, we're gonna just... Nope. Just gonna chant some stuff here. Get some turns built up on the old luck, just in case. These guys are doing a nice job of keeping them contained.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Okay, Wolf just suffered a crippling wound. No surprise there. We'll pick up this weapon. Funerary Dagger of Hegwart the Snake. We'll take it. What's that do for us? This is just a normal weapon. The hilt bears the following epitaph. I am the mighty chief, Hegwart the Snake, in the force of Sarkoris. None could match my cunning or my knowledge of poisons. Interesting. The other thing we were going to look at was getting this short sword to him. So Finian, let's go offhand with Finian, and let's go main hand with the short sword. And then that just leaves this +1 dagger out. That's fine. Okay, let's clean up and let's do... Let's just take it all. All right, and I think we're going to call it here, guys, because we are a little over time. And that's okay. So we're out and about. We're going to go find the tree, I think, since we're out here anyway. I probably should have said something to the effect that he was the guy that betrayed Lariel, but that's okay. We can sort that a little bit later. That's going to do it for this episode. So if you've enjoyed it, do me a big favor. Hit that like button for me. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button too. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.